What's going on, folks? Welcome back to the Lawn Shark channel. So today we're going to do things a little bit differently. What we're going to do today is we're going to talk about a product that I'm going to try out for the first time. And to give you a little bit of a backstory, if you guys remember last year in my old lawn, one of the videos that I did was that I talked about how much I enjoy hand pulling weeds in the spring. We had a little bit of a POA problem, and I actually liked at the end of a long day to get down on my hands and knees and just hand pull weeds. Now, I know POA goes away after it starts getting warm, but I really didn't want to wait for that, so I went ahead and just did it that way. And I didn't want to throw in a bunch of herbicides, so that was the way that I actually helped mitigate my weed problem in the front of my lawn. Now this year, one of the things in this lawn that we have to deal with is the fact that I had a complete lawn renovation in the fall, which means that I wasn't able to put down any pre-emergent, which limited my ability to actually control the weeds that I was going to get during this time of the year. The other thing I wasn't able to do is put pre-emergent at the end of winter, which I normally do for crabgrass. So because this is a brand new lawn and because of the fact that I couldn't do any of the pre-emergent, I am going to have to use some herbicide, but I definitely want to limit the amount of herbicide that I put into the lawn this year. So one of the things that I am going to try and do is do a lot more hand pulling this year. But as you guys know, in the fall, I had a knee replacement. Now, I'm as sick of mentioning this as you guys are hearing it, but it's a reality of my situation, which means that I am unable to stay on my hands and knees for very long because I am still in the healing process. So I started looking online at some products that were hand pullers that I could use while I was standing up. In the meantime, one of my good friends, Chris Miller, who is the owner of Wicked Green Lawns, he shared with me that his wife gave him a birthday present not too long ago, and the present that she gave him was this, and it's called Grandpa's Weeder. Now, be very careful how you say that and don't say it too fast. Trust me. Anyway, I went out and I bought this product because I thought it was a product that had a lot of potential. And so I went out to Amazon. It cost about $39.99. Sorry, Chris, I ruined the price for your wife, but it was about 40 bucks. And I went out and bought it, and I figured it was a good product for me to try out on my lawn. I do have some weeds that are starting to show up, so I figured this is the perfect time for me to give this a shot. The other thing that I want you to keep in mind is the fact that this is not a paid promotion, which means that I can basically say anything I want. If I love the product, I'm going to tell you, and if I hate the product, I'm going to tell you as well. So let's get to it. I'll come back at the end of the video and tell you whether I like this thing or not. So one of the things I'm going to use today is this sift that I built a couple years ago that I used on my other lawn when I was moving a bunch of dirt around for a lawn renovation. And I used it to get a bunch of the big rocks out and then some of the vegetation and clay and other things like that that I didn't want. And it was actually a really good little tool that I built. And it helped me to keep a lot of the dirt. And so that's what I'm going to use today as well. So as I pull the weeds, I'm just going to drop them in there and try and save as much of the dirt as I possibly can. All right, so the way this is supposed to work is you're supposed to put the prongs around the weed, and then you're supposed to use this foot lever to push down. And then when you lean backwards, it actually grabs the weeds with the tongs. And as you can see, actually did a pretty good job. And then once it opens up, I can either drop it into my sift or I can just take it and put it in the bag. But I'm actually gonna put it in the sift. Then what I'll do, I will just shake off as much of that dirt as possible, let it fall to the bottom, and then all I have left is these weeds. And the one thing I don't like is that it does leave a hole right there, but I think that that's going to be okay. It actually kind of help aerate, but what I can do also is all the dirt that I save, maybe I can put it back and help fill in some of these gaps. But just go around and do a little section and see how it looks. So I'm nowhere near done, but you can see how all of this comes out. It comes out as like little plugs, You know, one of the things I was thinking about is I've got that Pro plugger that would work just as well. But one of the reasons why I don't like the Pro plugger was because it was going to leave like this giant hole, which I guess I could fill in later with some sand. But the thing I like about this is that it leaves a pretty small hole that I think with a few rains, and since this is that PRG and then I have the Kentucky Bluegrass up in front, that it should spread a little bit and fill in a lot of those holes. So I think we're going to be okay. But yeah, I mean, pretty simple process here. Just get rid of as much of leave the soil behind, let it fall through the sieve, and then the only thing that we're gonna have left is a big pile of weeds right there. And so that's kind of what we're working towards. Lots of weeds. There's no shortage of weeds for me to do this. In fact, this may be a regular afternoon occurrence where I just walk around. Probably the biggest work will be in the beginning. Like I said, eventually I'm gonna have to get some weed killer on there, some sort of herbicide to actually kill the weeds. But this is a good way to kind of mitigate having to use all of those herbicides. All right, folks, well, here's my honest opinion. I think that the tool works great. Again, this is not a paid promotion. This is not somebody paying me to actually say something about this product. This is something I bought on my own just to see if it worked well for the needs that I have. And I actually really like it. I think it works pretty well. It actually saves my back. It keeps me from having to bend over. And it definitely keeps me off my knees, which is something that I'm trying to stay off of while I'm still healing. And I'm probably gonna have to stay off my knee probably throughout the whole summer. So this will actually work out really well for me. It's a really easy product to use. There's not a lot to it. Definitely want to keep as much of that dirt around as you possibly can. The only thing that I would say from a downside is that it's a little bit hard to figure out where the actual root system is. So some of these weeds like to spread out, and so sometimes where you think you're getting it, you're not. One of the recommendations that I would have is maybe mow your lawn first, wait a day. Usually the weeds tend to grow a little bit faster than your lawn, and that'll help you identify where the weeds are. So that's probably what I'm gonna do, is probably gonna go out here and mow the lawn first, and then I'll go back and actually go through it all. But that's pretty much all I have for you today. If you want to buy one of these weeders for yourself, I will put a link in the description down below. It is an affiliate link. I do get a couple bucks. If you don't want to use that affiliate link, feel free to do your own search. No sweat for me. I just want to provide the easiest way for you guys to get it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you like this video, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe if I've earned your subscription. If you want to be notified of future videos, don't forget to hit that bell, and I'll see you on the next one. Have a great week, everybody.